Hey guys, CJ here on behalf of Mako Sports, and today I have a really cool video for you guys. It's going to be a collaboration between me and Jack from Superstringing Lacrosse, so stay tuned. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you guys to make sure you subscribe to my channel and also to Jack's channel. Jack's channel is a lot like mine. If you don't know anything about Superstringing Lacrosse, he posts a lot of really nice videos, high quality and everything. He posts some really great reviews and he has some really good knowledge of the game. Also, he does some other cool side projects like short films and stuff, kind of like how I do. But other than that, his content is excellent, and I'd highly recommend you check him out. He's pretty small, just like how I am, but we're both growing, and we're both trying to push out content. So be sure to give his channel a subscribe. Also, follow him on Instagram. I'll put all the information in the description below. And yeah, let's get into this. Alright, so it's really simple how we're going to do this. Me and Jack both asked questions on our Instagram accounts about a week ago, and we're going to answer them. I have my tablet right here. I'm going to read off the questions. He posts questions for me on his profile, and I post questions for him on my profile on Mako Sports. And also, we're going to do a little giveaway. Jack's giving away something, and also I'm going to give away a piece of LaxDotComTV X Pro mesh, which is my favorite mesh. I think you guys really like it. Whoever wins. So we're just going to go ahead and start with these questions. Alright, so I got 32 questions, so we'll try and make this not too long. So let's get into the first one. First one is by, let's see. First question is by Danny McGade. He asked, do you pay for all your camera gear? Yes, I pay for all my camera gear, lighting, microphones, computer, all that stuff. I pay for it all. I have a job at Lacrosse Unlimited and also worked someplace else beforehand, but other than that, I do pay for all my gear. Blueberry Strings asked, what was your first stick? My first stick was a Nike Blur 10 with an Aero 10 shaft. It was a crankshaft, red head, and then the shaft was silver with like a blue kind of logo, Nike swoosh in the middle. It's kind of cool. KDog _ 19 _ asked, what was the first head you strung? The first head I ever strung, I believe, was that same Nike Blur 10 head. 401 Lax asked, how did you grow your Instagram page? I've been on Instagram for around 4 to 5 years by now. I think under the name Mako Sports, it's probably only been 2 years or so, but mostly just posting a lot. I have like 2,000 posts on Instagram, which is probably way too many, but I use hashtags, so it's a little bit easier to get found. What are some good, Nick Polly 10 asked, what are some good shooting drills to do for an attackman? Now, I'm not an attackman, but a really good one you can do is practicing your question mark dodges to shooting on the outside, kind of like how Rob Pennell does. It's a really good dodge for attackman that really just about anyone can do. Other than that, you can always practice, shooting from the outside and stuff like that. Chris Cozy asked, what grade are you in? I'm a sophomore in college, but I don't play lacrosse because my school doesn't offer it. 786 Lax asked, who do you honestly think is better, you or Brandon? And also, what do the stats say about you and Brandon compared? Me and Brandon are actually very different players, even though we both play midfield. I play more defensive midfield. He plays more offensive midfielder. But you could say his defensive skills are better than, or my defensive skills are better than his, but his offensive skills are better than mine. I'm not too sure about my stats. Same with him. Clark.Yeager asks, are you getting recruited? No, I'm not because I'm in college, but I think Brandon might be. Husky Lacrosse asks, how did you get into lacrosse? I got into lacrosse. I was trying out a whole bunch of sports in middle school, and I wasn't liking really any of them. So I decided to just try lacrosse because it looked really interesting. Ben.Plump24 asks, if you were in the MLL, what team would you want to be on? I'd probably want to be on the Hounds just because that's my local team. Chris Panello asks, how old are you? I'm 19. Drew the Compass asks, best advice for young lacrosse players? Hit the wall and also shoot as much as possible. Minnesota Strings asks, classic island question. You're stranded on an island, you can only have 3 things. What would you bring and why? I would bring a knife, obviously, to cut things, fillet fish, stuff like that. I would also bring some sort of fire source, obviously, and I'd bring a satellite phone. Orca Strings asks, what's your favorite head you've ever strung? For traditional, it is this one, Jaws. A lot of you older followers know this one, but it's a Maverick Metric U, the double traditional. Really cool design and everything. And then for mesh, it would be this Warrior Evo 3X, which I did a review on a long time ago. Mid-low pocket. I think this is Stringer Shack G3 Ultralight Mesh. Really smooth release, but it has a ton of whip. I like to use this for outside shooting, and it's just awesome. Tying strings asks favorite mesh. My favorite mesh is LaxDotCom X Pro mesh. Angry Bear Lacrosse asks, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in this business? Just keep posting really good content, whether it be stringing or dyeing or just producing videos. If you produce good content, then the followers will come. Outlet Lacrosse asks camera gear and lighting. I have a big video on this already, but for camera gear right now, Canon Vixit HFG40, $1,200, but I plan on upgrading it very soon anyways. Takstar HCC 598 microphone recording right now. I have 4 microphones, but this is what I'm using right now. It's really nice, easy to set up shotgun microphone. I've got 3 lights set up right now all around the room. Normally I just use 2, but right now I'm using 3. I'm testing out a 3rd one. I got 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 behind the camera. Also my white backdrop, and then the camera's on a tripod, which I'll show you in a minute. Alan Miller 18 asks, how many 6-week do you string? At Lacrosse Limited I string probably around 20 to 35 in a week. That is when it's in season, like February, January. And then right now, since we're not in season, it's more like probably 2 a week. Fboy87 asks, how much money have you dropped on Lacrosse? A ton of money, honestly. I have like 19 heads in here. Just heads alone, not even counting the shafts. So just a whole lot of money in Lacrosse right now. I've spent a whole lot of money on Lacrosse gear, mostly to do reviews and then eventually to sell the product back out to the public. Anchor Lacrosse asks, favorite Lacrosse memory and why? Favorite Lacrosse memory is probably when we had spring break. It was the last day of school, and the next week would be spring break. So we had lacrosse practice that day, but we mostly just messed around in like a scrimmage between JV and varsity. We also did the radar gun testing, which is really fun if you've ever done that before. And mostly we just hung out, and then I think after that we hung out and got some food or something like that. And that was in my sophomore year of high school. Hayden White 4 asked what college you want to go to. If it was to play lacrosse, probably Virginia Tech to play MCLA. LaxGods 12 asks, what's your favorite top string? 9 diamond top string, simple, clean, easy to do. Resent 1405 asks, when did you start stringing? I started stringing around the same time I started playing, sophomore year in high school. Q.Mucha22 asks, favorite setup? My favorite setup is probably an Under Armour Command with LaxDotCom X Pro mesh, also with probably a Maverick XL. Obarkus3 asks, favorite head and Rabel or Pinnell? Favorite head is definitely the Under Armour Command, and definitely Rabel over Pinnell. And then Ryan21.fb asks 3 questions, eggs or chicken for breakfast? Definitely eggs, and chicken for either lunch or dinner. And then he asks pancakes or waffles? Waffles, but I like French toast over those 2. And then he also asks, where did you learn to string? Mostly learned mesh from Greg from East Coast Dyes, and then I learned a lot of my traditional knowledge from Connor Wilson, behalf of Black's All Stars. So that's it for the Q&A. I'm going to give away a couple things here. So the X Pro mesh, I'm going to give away to Q.Muka22. He said favorite setup and love your channel. Also, I'm going to give away a couple of these wristbands. They'll just say Mako Sports on them. Let's see, I'll give one away. I'm gonna give one away. I'm gonna give one of these to Tim from the Seller. Cool guy. I'm gonna give one to Minnesota Strings. Also, I'm gonna give one. Also gonna give one to 786 Lax. One to Nick Polly 10. And also, I'll give one away to Drew the Compass. So that's it. LaxDotCom X Pro mesh, and then a couple of these wristbands that just say Mako Sports on them. Congratulations if you won an item. But that's it for the Q&A. So like I said, this is collaboration. So before you click away, be sure to subscribe to Jack's channel at superstringinglax. Also follow him on Instagram, and also subscribe to my channel at Mako Sports, and follow me on Instagram also at Mako Sports. And thanks for watching, guys.